So what you see in yellow on that image is essentially 2/3 of what's been historically the Canal Basin parking lot. It's a City of Cleveland parking lot, very underutilized. And so we've gotten permission now to remove 2/3 of it, which is essentially about a 2-acre area of land. But in order to plan for what we would do for actually that portion of the site, we started to take a look at the entire publicly owned section and parcels of land that was within this red dashed line that you see as the Canal Basin Park area. So we looked essentially at what you see as the river on the left edge of the image here, with Detroit Superior Bridge overhead and the RTA bridge overhead, with the trail coming from essentially the roundabout that goes underneath Columbus Road then, and then brings you into the park space itself. So we use the framework plan as some of the guiding principles, but also the design principles of environmental improvement, age, and the industrial age as elements that overlay essentially right on top of this terrific site. The bridges certainly are the dominant feature. And so whereas the framework plan, I think, was very segmented, this plan is much more, I'd say, open and a little more sensitive in terms of respecting the bridges overhead as the primary spatial component that defines the entire area. So we've looked at from work from left to right and call out some of the elements that that you see within this plan diagram. Chris mentioned the boat slips that are proposed along the Cuyahoga. You see those located there, and then the historic canal entrance. We envision some stepped seating, stepped seat walls going down to water's edge, so that you actually have the opportunity to bring the boardwalk level all the way down to near within a foot of the river's edge itself. There's a historic jackknife bridge that's over on the west bank, and the point where it actually touched down on the east bank of the river was where we would create an overlook. So this is substantial steel with old historic railway lines that still exist on the site. And we'd reutilize that with some grading and railings and actually create an overlook out into the river up at the main elevation of the park. Also a boardwalk then that would continue from the east edge of that overlook all the way along in front of the sewer district pump station and connect all the way over to Settlers Landing, and then to points north beyond that, ultimately all the way up to the East Bank project. We'd maintain essentially vehicular access into the pump station, but we would remove the old Merwin Street and Merwin Street cul-de-sac that now extends about probably about another quarter-mile east of where we show Merwin ending in this image. We also remove West Street, which is a north-south street that goes through the center of this park, and it essentially bisects what's right now the initial greening that Chris mentioned and the Forum Pavilion, which is shown in the yellow block that you see on the toward the bottom of this image. We'd have a large gathering space and paver area plaza below the Detroit Superior Bridge with ornamental paver detailing of the layout of the river, some step seating, a restroom facility would be provided. And then we respect the historic edge of the old canal basin by introducing a curbing element that would define it and actually create a biofiltration area. We have the opportunity to take stormwater drainage off of the Detroit Superior bridge and bring it into a biofiltration area, as well as also storm drainage off other areas of this park space. We'll screen parking lots to the east of the site, and then ultimately create an open lawn area that connects between the trail as it ends and the Metro Parks Pavilion to the west. And then in phase one, this is what we actually have the funding for. So again, I mentioned we'd remove 2/3 or about 2 acres of hard surface parking area, create the open area, but you do see West Avenue as it currently exists, and then Merwin at the left side would remain as a public street for the time being. The towpath itself would terminate then in a trailhead, and this would feature numerous elements, a kiosk for informational purposes, seating, bike racks, drinking fountain for the public's use. And then we have a 70-car parking lot that will remain for trailhead use. And then some on-street parking for food trucks and cars on West Street. And biofiltration on the east side of the towpath. We'll begin to recognize the edge of the old historic 40-foot canal by introducing stone curbing along the biofiltration on the east side of the path, and then seating steps that'll make about a 3-foot grade transition from the path itself up to the level of the entrance plaza. And then some extensive landscaping to create a sense of space within the new trailhead area and screen the parking lots to the east and to the west of the site. New circulation within that open lawn area with mounding. I think those are the key elements of the phase one plan we're proposing.